Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Yes, systems are going, and we will go ahead and get started. If you've ever felt that you're hiding in plain sight, like there's more in you, but you're not sure how to share it without losing, yourself, I'll say, this is your episode. You're in the right place, okay? Hello, welcome back to Quiet Authority Conversations. For those of you that may be new here, my name is Natasha. I am Quiet Leadership Strategist as well as your host for The Quiet Mic. So, I want to welcome you back. This is a place where we hold space for those that are powerful leaders who don't need to just be the loudest in the room. Okay. We don't need to be loudest to own it. Okay. So if you're here, trust me when I tell you it is not by accident. You're part of a movement. It's a movement of thoughtful, strategic, and high impact voices who really lead differently. Okay. And if this message speaks to you, go ahead, take a moment right now, do it right now, and go ahead, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with somebody that too may be a quiet leader that's building something and really needs to hear this, that's in your circle. Okay. So these conversations are how we build together because that's what we're doing. We're building together. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. I want to paint a picture for you. Okay. So you've been building something. Okay. And maybe it's your brand, maybe it's your business, maybe it's a platform. If you're doing social media, content, things like that, you know you're good. You know you're good at what you do. Okay. You know that you bring real value to the table. Okay. So that's not an issue for you. But every time it's time to share your work, to show your face, and to speak your truth, you pause. You pause. And then you hesitate. And then you start editing yourself before you even begin, right? Like you cut yourself off before you even start the race because you start thinking, what if it's too much? And then there's all these thoughts. What if I'm too much? Right? What if I'm not polished enough, right? Or what if the people watching don't get it? Or even more, what if they don't get me? Like, am I too much? You start really doubting yourself and start second guessing. I don't even know if I should be doing this. And so then what happens? You fall back in the shadows. You go into the shadows of your own brilliance. And it's not because you're not ready, because you're ready, but because being seen, it feels risky. And that risk, it feels like exposure. Yeah. Yeah. It's that pressure, right? Like something you haven't figured out how to carry just yet. Okay. So it's like, man, that pressure, I just don't know. I'm just going to fall back. I know that space, right? Why? Because not long ago, I was there too. And in today's conversation, I want to walk you through three realizations, and I call them realizations that shifted how I saw myself. And it's not as somebody who had to become louder, because that wasn't it. It wasn't becoming louder. But I had to see myself as someone who had to become braver. Now, let me be clear before we even get started. This is not about forcing confidence, okay? And it's not about turning into a personal brand machine at all, okay? So I want to just get that out the way. But it is about honoring what's already inside of you. And it's about understanding why owning it out loud is really the very thing that changes everything. Okay. You need to own it out loud. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Now, let's be real for just a moment. You're doing the work, you're showing up, at least in part, at least in part. You probably posted, a few things. Maybe you're going live once or twice. Maybe you sent a few emails, right? Maybe you're trying to be visible as much as you can without losing yourself in the process. Because some that's just I just can't do it. But it feels like you're putting energy into a vacuum, right? You're putting everything in and it's just sucking it out, but none's coming out. You're not seeing the results that you want to see, right? Or you're not even seeing results that you think are really results. So you're not getting feedback. And then you slowly start shrinking. And if you're an entrepreneur, this one is really for you. Because if you're building something real, maybe now you have a growing team, maybe your name is out there more than what it was before. This gets even more layered, right? Because it's not just you. You have to show up, right? You now have to advocate for your business and you have to speak up. You got to speak up in rooms where decisions are being made. These are decisions that are going to affect you. These are decisions that's going to affect your business and those that are on your team as well. And fear has you on the sidelines, whispering when you know you need to pick up that mic. You know you need to pick it up, but you sit back. But here's what I know, and that's all I can speak on is what I know. That fear does not make you weak. It does make you human. Okay. And it's not a reason to hide. Yes, you're human, but you got this. Being human is a signal that you've got something very powerful that is asking to be seen. Okay. So let's walk through what that really looks like because I'm not going to be here before you long. Okay. I always tell you that. But we're going to get this information in today. Okay. Now, today's conversation is not just advice. Okay. It's a conversation around three realizations, as I told you, I call them realizations that I've had in my own personal journey. And I call them realizations because these were not just, some quick tips that I found online, that I found at a podcast or anything like that. These were things that I actually lived as experiences that I actually really had to go through. And those moments helped me to see myself and my leadership differently. Okay. And that's why I want to help you so that maybe you don't have to go through all the things that I had to go through. Okay. So these are internal shifts that are going to help you move through the fear of being seen and move you into the power of being known. Okay. I want to move you into the power of being known. Okay. Now, that brings us to realization number one. You're not afraid to be seen, but you're afraid to be judged for being powerful. Yeah, yeah. You're not afraid to be seen, but you are afraid to be being judged for being powerful. And I'll be honest with you, because I can only be honest. This one took me a long time to name. And it was because on the surface, I really thought that I was just shy or not ready, right? But here's the truth. I was not afraid of visibility. I was afraid of what might happen once I owned my visibility. Yeah. I was afraid of what might happen once I owned my visibility. There's something that's vulnerable about letting people see you. Okay. When you let them see you in your power, that's a sense of vulnerability that a lot of people just can't handle. Because once you are vulnerable, now there's expectations. Yeah, now you're held to a higher standard. And now you have to stand on what you said. What you said you were going to do, you have to stand on it. Okay. Now there's a responsibility that you have to hold, not only to others, but to you as well. Okay. And if you're someone who's used to being in the background, and I say that because I was that person used to being in the background, that spotlight can feel like a threat, not a reward. Okay. But I need you to listen and listen to me clearly. Owning your power is not arrogance, it's stewardship. Okay. It's you saying, I know what I carry. And guess what? I'm willing to share it so that others can grow too. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to share with you so that others, such as yourselves and anybody else listening, can grow too. Now, let's look at what fear of your own power can actually look like in real life. Okay. It could look like you're holding back from pressing that post button on that thought leadership idea that you had only because it feels too bold. Like, no, I can't say that. I can't say that. Scrap it. Or it could be you avoiding saying your rates out loud because a part of you is afraid that somebody will say that you're not worth it. Yeah. Or it could be that you turn down a panel invite just because you're afraid that your quiet voice won't carry on the stage. Yeah. So you deny yourself of that opportunity and others the opportunity to hear you. So then I know you wonder, well, how do I move through that fear? Because if I have it, how do I move through it? I'm gonna tell you this. You name it, you say it. This feels like a risk, but not showing up is the bigger one. You practice showing up anyway, whether it's one post, one pitch, one yes at a time. Yeah, you're gonna have to say yes. Okay. You don't need to feel fully ready. You just need to be willing. Okay. I'm going to say that again. You don't need to feel fully ready. You just have to be willing. Okay. The world doesn't fear your weakness, it's your strength that they don't know how to handle. Okay. They don't fear your weakness, but it's that strength. Whew, they're not ready, but you are. And sometimes you may not know how to handle it, but strength is meant to be grown into. Okay. It won't feel natural at first. I'm gonna tell you, feel like a fish out of water, but that does not mean that it's not yours. Okay. Because it is. It's your power, it's your strength. And sometimes all it takes is one moment. All it takes is just that one moment. One person seeing something in you before you can even see it yourself. That's what leads me to my second realization. Realization number two. I laugh because this is that one. Other people often see you before, they often see your power before you do. Okay. Let me tell you about a moment that really, really shifted everything for me. I was asked to lead a 3 day leadership, um, a development series for a district team that I served. And I had to build the training. I had to facilitate every session. And on top of that, I had to find a way to keep people engaged for 3 days. Um, I'll tell you, my anxiety was on 100. Okay. I was terrified. And I remember thinking to myself all the questions. Specifically, I asked myself, why would they even want to listen to me? And am I even qualified to lead them? I could, every question I could think of, I thought it. Okay. Um, but that district manager, truth be told, they believed in me. They saw something in me that I hadn't yet owned in myself. I didn't see it at the time, but looking back, it was a godsend. Their belief became that nudge that I did not know that I needed. Okay. Because if you would have told me back then that right now I would be hosting my own podcast and leading conversations every single week, just like this, I would have definitely told you absolutely not, no way. Yeah. But guess what? I'm right here. Here I am. Right. Those type of situations nudge me and they keep nudging me. So you may not realize it, but there may be times when someone else sees your power before you do. And that's okay. It's okay if it catches you off guard. It's supposed to. But What those moments do is it calls you to a higher purpose. What could that look like? I know you may be wondering, what could it look like? Well, it could look like someone on your team coming to you and asking you to mentor them. And then you think, why me? I am not worthy, I'm not there yet to be mentoring somebody. Or it could be a client that says they want to work with you, not just your service, but you. And then you start second guessing whether you're actually ready, right? But you are. You are. Or you have a friend that simply tells you you're a leader and it just catches you off guard. I've been there before. I've been there before. Now, you may be wondering, how do I lean into that moment when those things happen, right? Instead of shrinking, because that's not what you want to do. You don't want to shrink from it. Well, start by listening. Their invitation just might be the clarity that you've been waiting for. Okay. That clarity is what you need. Say yes, even if you're shaking, even if you're shaking. Accept the invite, accept the compliment, sit with the feedback. You're going to get better. And then let it push you forward into your next brave move. Okay. Let it push you forward into that next brave move. Here's the thing, in order to remember, how can I put this? I want you to remember this. The belief that somebody else has in you cannot carry you, but it can activate you. The belief that somebody else has in you, it will activate you. Okay. It's not going to carry you. That's not what it's meant for, but it's meant to activate you. You see, the people need to see that you're brilliant. Okay. They know it. You need to know it. You're just ahead of your own self recognition. Okay. Sometimes their vision helps you see you more clearly too. So you need that nudge. Okay. Here's the thing, even after you begin to see yourself more clearly, I'll say, even after you said yes once, twice, a handful of times, that fear is not going to disappear completely. Okay. Which is going to bring me to my next realization. Realization number 3. Okay. Realization number 3 is fear does not cancel your voice. But, silence does. Fear doesn't cancel your voice, but silence does. I still get nervous when I hit go live every single week. Okay. I still wonder, is anyone even going to watch this? Okay. I still get that nerves before I do all of this. But guess what? I do it anyway. Why? Because every single time that I do, I see messages to me that says something of, I needed this. And then I think back to those trainings that I used to do prior when I was in HR, where my hands would shake before every session and my nerves would get so bad. But then afterwards, somebody would come to me and they would say things like, you know what? I never heard it explained to me that way before. Or, you know what? That finally clicked. Those little nudges kept me going. Those little nudges kept me showing up. And it wasn't because I felt perfectly confident, because I wasn't, but it was because the cost of me not showing up, the cost of me staying silent is far too high. And it is too high of a cost that I am willing to pay. Okay. I am not willing to pay that cost. And so I want to give you a couple of real life examples that you may not even realize as to how silence can really sneak in and steal your momentum. Okay. It could be, not launching your offer that you have only because you think that enough people won't buy. Okay. Or avoiding content creation because you think your story isn't worth telling. Or here's one: saying no to a partnership only because you're afraid of what visibility would look like. You're afraid of what visibility is going to require from you. Okay. So, how do you push past that silence? Because that's the important thing. It's going to show up, but how do you push past it? Well, you stop waiting for perfection. Number one, stop waiting to be perfect. It's not going to happen. And you start honoring your progress. You treat every single post, every single pitch, every rep as a seed, not a finished product. Okay. And then you remind yourself that there's somebody that's waiting for what I've been hiding. Okay. There's somebody that's on the other side of that camera, on the other side of whatever it is that you're trying to do, that's waiting for you. Fear makes you hesitate, but silence makes you disappear. Okay. So you can, hesitate a little bit, but don't disappear. You don't need to be fearless. I want to be clear with that because fear is going to show up. You just need to keep talking, keep going, keep writing, keep pressing go live, just like I did. Okay. That's how your voice is going to get stronger. That's how your name is going to start to mean, excuse me, mean something in the rooms that you're in. Okay. So let's talk about where this might be showing up for you. Okay. And even it could be showing up for you right now. Okay. So ask yourself honestly, where have I been holding back? Where have I been holding back my voice? Okay. Where have I been holding back? Because I'm sure there's something out there that you've been holding back with. Or ask yourself, where have I convinced myself that I'm not ready? Okay. Or you're quietly waiting to be invited instead of choosing to show up. Okay. Instead of waiting to be called, show up. Show up. I have a couple examples that I want to give you in how this might be showing up in your world right now. Okay. One, it could look like you submitting that guest pitch to a podcast or some type of event or some type of a speaking proposal. And you stop yourself because you say, I don't have the right experience yet. Yeah, I'm not. Want to know how you overcome that? Ask yourself, what if this opportunity is how I grow into that experience that I want? Okay. Or what if creating a mini series around something that you believe in, but you haven't posted it? Why? Just because, oh, only 10 people might watch it. So it's just not worth me doing it. You shift that. You go to yourself and you remind yourself that 10 people is still a room, right? 10 people is still a room. 10 people is still an impact because those 10 people can be impacted by what you're providing. Or you could be quietly talking about your offer more boldly. And instead, you decide to water it down. Yep. You water it down. And you water it down because you say, it seems like it's too much. What do? Instead, you practice. Practice standing in the mirror, flat footed. Why? Because confidence grows from clarity and it grows from consistency. Just because it feels like nobody's watching does not mean that your work does not matter. It does. Just because you may not hear those voices doesn't mean that your voice doesn't matter. Okay? It does. It does. Not someday, but right now, it matters. Okay. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore in the future conversation, go ahead, drop it in the comments because I do read the comments. What we're doing over here is we're building this space together, and that includes you. It includes you. Your voice matters here. So I want you to go ahead and make sure that you do that. Other than that, I want to thank you for being here today. Okay. I want you to also remember I go live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If this conversation spoke to you, Go ahead. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And make sure you share it with somebody that's been holding back. Okay? We're not just creating content here. We're not doing that. We're building courage together, quietly, consistently, powerfully. Okay? And I also want you to remember the quiet ones move the room. So let your quiet speak loud. Until next time, see you later. Bye bye.